everybody. Welcome to the D-Pad.
Yo, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Not bad. I just got a text from my mom.
Oh, yeah. So last time we were talking about the vast emptiness of the universe, or the non-emptiness. Yep. I'm one of those people who is of the opinion that, of course, there's alien life out there. It's
nothing
so
like we picture it, probably.
Oh, yeah, we probably have no idea of its perception.
And again, not only is it's hubristic and arrogant to think that just us.
Beyond. It's not like an antagonistic or like
it's egocentric.
It's very because like
as a species.
For what it's worth, the odds of us existing are almost zero, are basically zero.
Yeah.
It's not even an almost, it's zero.
Yeah.
We happened out of a sheer dumb luck for millions of years. So would be the case for any other life in the universe.
Right.
But the fact that we exist is proof positive that life can exist in the universe.
Therefore,
it must.
It must also exist somewhere
It's one
else,
of those
because the universe is effectively infinitely big. It's not infinitely big, but for our purposes, it probably is.
I forget if it's billions or trillions of light years across. It's got to be trillions.
And do we really have any accurate way of knowing or measuring?
No, we know
it's all theoretical.
We have what we call the observable universe,
right?
Which is as far out as we can certainly say that something exists.
Sure.
And we basically assume that the universe is larger than that. We were talking about Doctor Who and stuff. I haven't watched any of Series 9 yet. I feel awful about that.
Yeah, and apparently it's good.
Series 8 was fine too. I like Peter Capaldi a lot. His Doctor is great. I wish the writing
for him last season
wasn't
so strong, right?
Yeah, the writing was a little weak last season. So I'm hoping that the writing for season 9 got better. They brought in Maisie Williams, who plays the littlest Stark.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I forget her character's name. Is it
Arya?
Arya?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I haven't watched Game of Thrones yet, so I apologize preemptively for that.
That's
Game
cool.
of Thrones.
She's not actually the youngest one, but she's the youngest girl.
Yeah, because there's another. She has like a younger brother, right?
Yeah, two of them.
She has an older sister, 2 older brothers, and 1 younger brother. I think it's 5.
Pretty
of
much.
them?
Yeah.
But she's the one who she's the one who pretends to be a boy for a while and cuts her hair and stuff and sneaks inadvertently into an enemy fort.
Yep.
I just
really
feel
like
right
Game of Thrones.
crazy,
I've only seen up to halfway through season 3, but I really like it. Life just keeps getting in the way of me finishing that goddamn show.
When you're done with that, let me know when we can get you back in Breaking Bad.
I'd like to do that too. I'd like to see The Walking Dead.
Yeah, same.
There's so much. I'm enjoying BoJack Horseman with you and Ben.
Yeah, that's been good. It's so sad. All right, actually, this is a good one to talk about too. Is I've noticed that it seems like the very best comedies for the last couple of years have either been A, overwhelmingly sad at the core, or B, they focus on inherently shitty people, like deeply disturbed fucking people. And like a lot of that isn't like the bad people one isn't terribly new. Like Always Sunny is probably the most recent example of definitely super popular show about bad people.
Well, I think it's true to a point that a lot of comedy comes from someone being deeply sad. A lot of the best comics are the ones with really, fucked up circumstances or lives or drug problems or, tragedy or whatever you want to call it. And I think that translates to a point to created comedy too,
That's
series
fair.
and things like that. So you're thinking of Always Sunny in particular. BoJack is kind of
up there.
absurdist and existential.
Seinfeld before Always Sunny was also one that was about
they're not terrible people. They're just kind of
they're dicks. They're insanely self-centered. The characters from Friends are also bad, but they're not bad to the same degree. They're kind of incompetently egocentric. They're not incompetently. They're kind of ignorantly egocentric. They're selfish, but they don't really focus on themselves hard. It's sort of oh wow, yeah, I guess I am,
right. But I feel like it's hard to write.
They're good-natured, but they're selfish.
It's almost hard to write.
Seinfeld, they're not good-natured. They are just selfish.
And Always Sunny, they're incredibly so.
They're arguably they're criminals in a lot of ways.
You can't deal with a compelling character in fiction that's not somewhat self-centered, because we're not going to learn about the character as well if they're not a little self-centered. You know what I mean? I feel like you can't hold fictional characters to the same standard of self-centeredness as you might to a person in your life.
True, absolutely. But it feels like, all right, so Always Sunny in Philadelphia, a show I love, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love that show. But of the main cast, I'd say the three, like, basically the main cast minus Charlie. So the other four have basically no redeeming personality to them. Like, they are all
I mean, Charlie's likable, but he still
shitty.
has no real redeeming.
Oh yeah, he's still, and it's sad because there was like one episode where he totally had a happy life with this really rich woman, and it turns out that despite insisting that he was totally over the waitress, in the end burns that bridge to the ground and goes back to the waitress who hates him still. And it's just like, and he did it all knowing that that's how it was going to play out, and literally the rest of the cast like, wow, that was really dark. But like the rest of the cast regularly are horrible, horrible people. Like Dennis is pretty much a rapist.
Is he? I didn't see that. But
like they there's a lot of suggestions of it, and even the rest of the cast occasionally is like, yeah, that doesn't seem right, man. What you're doing, and like it's like it's there, it's sprinkled in lightly enough that if you watch an episode, it doesn't really stick out. But if you watch a long stretch of it, it's like, wow, they really are hammering that home.
Yeah, I could see that. I've only seen the first couple seasons. Yeah. I think that show works because they go so far with it.
I mean, definitely. Again, I enjoy the show, but like it's one of those things where it's hard to find a comedy, and it's not like I want to watch like, oh, give me the most wholesome comedy, you know, whatever you can find.
What
would
you say is an example of a wholesome yet still effective comedy?
Still effective?
Yeah.
Effective in what way? Because I can think of one that's...
What's a wholesome comedy that you and I like? Or you like, or I like. Like 30 Rock. 30 Rock puts a lot of social issues and takes a sort of opinionated stance. I would say even a judgmental stance on a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Tina Fey and Amy Poehler both kind of shoot for decent people.
Parks and Rec is all about decent people.
Yeah.
Nobody in Parks and Rec is really bad. Okay.
Now, granted...
No, but that doesn't mean that it's not created by people who have a lot of problems. In fact, one of the main writers in Parks and Rec killed himself.
Really?
I think it was a drug overdose. I don't think it was an actual suicide. But it was only recently. It was just after the show was ending.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's super sad.
It is super sad. Even the ones that don't initially appear. That's actually the point of BoJack Horseman, is that he was squeaky clean comedy guy, and now his life is just wretched.
Yeah, because he's got... You know, like, he feels like he's got nothing, so he just kind of, it's so hard to watch that show, too, because, like, there's some spots in there where it's just like, oh, dude... If you didn't just do this one thing that you literally anyone could have told you not to do.
Right, yeah. That's kind of the fun part of it,
I feel like it's a decent study on that kind of culture, too, because, like, it's obviously exaggerated in a lot of ways, but a lot of that stuff just straight up happens to actual people in Hollywood. Like,
oh, yeah.
Hollywood does totally ruin lives all the time.
Well, that goes back to our other thing is, like, I'm trying to think of, like, what makes a life that's valuable. Not valuable. What makes a life that's like, yeah, like I'm proud of the life that I lived. And is it like affecting the most people? Like, is Jon Stewart the best person in the world right now? Because he's...
I think it's hard to compare that
you know
kind
what I
of
mean?
stuff.
Like,
it's really... I mean, it's obviously it's a personal thing. You are the only one who can tell yourself if what you're doing with your life is meaningful.
That actress in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. who like was Mulan but also does all of her own stunts. And like, yeah. Like, she's incredible. Like, I wish I could talk about myself...
She's apparently super friendly too. She goes to as many cons as she can.
I'm sure she's awesome. You know what I mean? Like that's awesome. Like I want to live a life where people are like, yeah, that's John, and he does X and Y and Z, and he's great. And like,
we haven't done Z yet. That's coming soon though.
Yeah, hey-o.
Hey.
Yeah. Like, it's John. You know, he's got this YouTube channel with his buddy, and they play a lot of games, and they're funny, and you know, he makes a lot of websites and is sad at night. And I gotta upgrade that a little bit, you know? Yeah. He used to write a lot of music and doesn't so much anymore. Okay.
Hey, time is tough, man. It happens, you know. We're still planning on doing full art laser sword stuff.
I have plenty of stuff to work on. It's just the time lately. I've been thinking about this. So I feel like we've talked about this on the show, but like the hierarchy of needs, the
Laszlo, not Laszlo. Laszlo? No.
Yeah. Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Thank you. Maslow's hierarchy needs, like, I don't know, burgers. Under that, I could use a piss. Yeah. After that is maybe, I don't know, some crack. Is it a good day? Give me some crack. After that, though, it's all right. If you go downtown to Chunky's, they make this great, like this. It's like a frap, but it's got Rocky Road in it. It's the best. That's my number 4. Those are my needs.
Those are my needs. Behold.
Yeah. Like, okay, Laszlo.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, Maslow's hierarchy needs.
Oh yeah, but basically, like, our lives have been so outside the deep end. Our lives have been so topsy-turvy, up and down, like with just all sorts of crap that I haven't had a stable enough ground to like be productive on my personal projects. I feel like, I haven't been able to move my life forward because the ground has been shaky and my baseline needs haven't been met, like just simple money and knowing, are we going to be able to afford rent next month? I don't know. Are we?
I mean, I hear you. I definitely
so it's like I'm not able to build on my life because I feel like the basics aren't there, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I'm sorry I keep going in here and swapping through items. I'm trying to game plan. I think I'm going to leave the Lucky Egg on Tenzing, and I'm going to have Richter on point just for this whole area. It's too fucking crazy. There's too much weird shit going on.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think it's my best call right now. But yeah, no, like, I totally relate. I feel like there's a lot of stuff. I feel like I have to apologize. Oh, I did miss a guy, but I don't want to go in there just yet. I feel like I'm apologizing to, like, you and to Sarah and to D-Pad fans and stuff all the time about just
being behind and just not.
It's tough. You fall behind and it just makes you fall further behind. Yeah, that's the worst thing is that time is never on your side, kids.
Yeah. Remember that.
If
my new goal for this year is to eliminate as much clutter, as many commitments, as much debt, money problems, as much like outgoing. Like, we live in an expensive apartment. Maybe we don't have to. Maybe we can find a cheaper place and have just less money going out every month, so we could concentrate less on making money and more on doing stuff that we care about.
Does have fucking levitate?
It's hard to be a good person. It might.
Ooh, this could be bad. No, it does have levitate, doesn't it? Yep, it does. Okay. I mean, submission will be regular effective, but let me just put somebody else in.
Well, who's going to be super effective?
Fibonacci.
Fighting?
Dark.
No, dark.
Yep. Because Psychic is going to be... I'm immune to Psychic, so...
Yep. Yeah, but anyway, life's hard. We're trying to make it work. We're going to get there. We love you all.
It's tough, man. It's real tough. Yeah. You know what? It's all right. I think we're like...
I think we're on the upswing finally. We had like a really a couple of months, and I think we're on the upswing.
The hardest thing, honestly, for me is anytime you see someone your own age who's doing a lot better.
Who are you thinking of?
No one in particular. All right. I had a friend, Mike, in college. I mean, he was more of an acquaintance. I didn't hang out much with him, but I did stuff with him, and we had mutual friends and stuff. And like right out of college, he got a job in D.C., and like we went up, me, a friend of ours, and a third friend of ours who was dating him, and actually is married to him now. Oh, wow. The three of us went up to DC, and we dropped in on him, and we're like, hey, kind of thing. And she stayed behind, and the other two of us kept going. But like, he had this ridiculous. I didn't see what the Pokemon was. I should have paid more attention. And he had like a really nice place in fucking Washington, D.C. And I was like, okay, all right. Yeah. And this was at like 22. And I'm like, how is this even?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like your goal was never to be a politician.
No, I mean, he's not a politician either. But
okay. Well, it depends on what you make your goal to be.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And I feel like people like you and I run into problems because we always have lots of goals. And actually, that's tough because it's easier to be single-minded and pursue one thing.
Definitely, and it's tricky too. We have we seem to focus a lot more on creative goals, which are way more abstract, way harder to achieve in like a way where you can like set it and go like, yeah, there we go, we're there.
That's actually why the D-pad I think has been good for us because
it's a good outlet.
It's a good outlet. We get to talk and be a little bit creative with like some of the editing or the writing or the jokes or the, whatever, and but it also gives us a structure that we have to stick to and forces us to keep coming back even when on days where we might not want to. Hold on.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I mean, there's also like there are people who don't do as well as us, and I at least and John I assume is the same way. We're very, we understand that, and we feel very fortunate for that, and we know that as bad as stuff gets, at least compared with the way we're used to things, it could always get a lot worse. And we kind of, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's tricky trying to pursue a creative field. It's tricky trying to be a young person in your 20s in the city. Because just unless you got a real solid, money setup going on, it can be tricky, And I think we're doing fine. We're actually both looking into some new jobs that might help us out, help us, get a better foothold and stuff. And if that's the case, it'll be a lot easier to produce stuff for the D-pad too, because it'll mean, we don't have to stress out as much about getting new equipment. We can have spare stuff all over the place. We got new games and new recording equipment specifically, not even audio stuff. I've got video recording stuff that we're gonna need in the near future.
What did you say? What's gonna make that easier?
If we get new jobs, basically.
Yeah. We're working on it, but we're still not quite at the point where the D-pad is. It's certainly not even self-supporting. The D-pad, we still lose money on the D-pad.
We still do. And it's been that way for 4.5 years, really.
Yeah,
and it's
so
fine.
We're happy to do it. We didn't set out to do this, but someday we will, I believe, get to a point where
I think so.
We can. It's at least self-sustaining.
One of these days.
Beyond that, it'll maybe start sustaining us too, which would be cool.
Oh, fucking sturdy! God.
My fear is that if Rick gets a real job, it's gonna hurt the D-pad.
I had a real job last year.
You did.
And that was,
but we have a much thicker schedule than we did then.
I mean, it's true. Well, yes and no. We were doing Legendary Let's Play back then, and we were doing Pokemon, and we usually had a third game of various sorts during all that stuff.
That's true, but at least back then the third game was optional. Now we're
Shuckle,
4 games, and live content. It's a little tougher.
Bug and Rock. Fighting and Ground are both going to be neutral.
Yeah, he's a tough one. Water.
Nope. I'll just stick with Richter. I'll do neutral damage.
I feel like every time we think
fine.
about Shuckle, we're like, oh, duh, we should have just done this.
I think not fire. Nope, fire is also just regular.
Yep. He is rock, steel, water.
Yeah. So
actually,
really have much
rock.
of this. Shell Smash.
Rock doesn't resist rock. That's what we got to remember.
Yeah.
Rock, no resist rock.
Not good. Not good. Fuck you, Shell Smash.
Sure.
Though, granted, all I have to do is hit him once with Earthquake, and that should be the end of him. So.
Yeah. That'll be the end of him. I should.
Yeah, there we go.
Soon.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this one up, and then you'll probably be.
We're gonna shoot this
on
puppy.
Your way. Yeah, we're gonna shoot this puppy. It's been a while since we used that one.
I know. I'm bringing
it back.
It's been a while. Hey, it's been a while since you used that one.
That's not true.
You're right. Everybody uses that one.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Go back and heal. Oh my God. Are we just
gonna
go? There's been a bit of a dorp snafu here.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't think of any more.
Oh man. Well, I mean,
once Jiggle Jam will come up with something.
Oh, I mean, it's fine. Once you're out of there, I'm gonna be headed off to grab food again on my own, and
okay, that was good.
Slid that one in there.
All right. So we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.